You're watching 7 Rivers Sports here on KQEG. I'm your host, Terry Erickson. Each week, an inside look into sports, into wellness, into fitness, and introduce you to some key guests throughout the area. Well, today, it's going to be a special show because we're catching up with Kara Schuster on the show prior to her new building, and with her, Chad Strehlow from the Crosse Wellness Center. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Well, it all started at Bluffside Snap Fitness, where I started, by the way, and we had some talks back several years ago when you were on the show, and a leap of faith, and here you are, hitting a home run. But let's kind of talk about that journey of success.
It's been a wild ride, let's just put it that way, but it's been a good ride. We've been open for almost a year and a half now, just a little over a year and a half, and we have all our spaces filled, and every facet of wellness that's now what our goal was is now up and running.
Well, good. We're going to break down all the components of the Crosse Wellness Center, and you're going to be pleasantly surprised as to what is offered there. You know, one of the key things that I always thought back in the days when I was a member at Bluffside is your staff. I mean, you just have the ability to attract some key staff. And certainly Chad Strehlow is one of them, new to lacrosse, and now working full-time at the Wellness Center. But let's learn a little bit about Chad.
Yep, so I started there about a year ago. I started off just reffing flag football in the field house, and then kind of got offered a job to manage the field house in the back. I also do a little bit of front desk work with the Snap Fitness as well. So I love working there. I love the people there.
So your degree and your background?
Yep, I do have a sports management degree from South Dakota State University. I kind of eventually want to get into athletic director, coaching, as well as staying with Kara here at the field house. So I know this is just a stepping stone to what I eventually want to become.
Well, good. Do you know, when you hire people, Kara, it's amazing to me. You get such quality people with great personalities, outgoing, pleasant. What do you look for with people?
Exactly that, I guess. Someone that's really well-rounded, just because the nature of working in a fitness facility, you have to wear multiple hats. I mean, you have to be flexible. Like Chad, you know, he can pop into the front desk. I mean, there's moments where you have to work in the daycare, unfortunately, if staff is not there or sick, and then to be able to step into like a class. So, I mean, that's really important to me, that somebody has that capability, but also the positive attitude that we are a startup still. I mean, we got a lot of stuff that we're learning being a fairly new business. So I think attitude is probably the one thing that we look forward to, and just making sure that they're not above that, so to speak, that they know that every day is different at La Crosse Wellness Center, and that is by far has proven to be true. So
It certainly has, and I can testify to that, being out there and being a member as frequently as I have time for. But let's just go back to the statement I made about a leap of faith, because you and I talked quite a bit about the number of fitness centers years ago when you were thinking about this idea. And certainly there was no guarantees, and there was probably as many uncertainties as there was some positive thoughts on the center. So how difficult was that?
Well, I knew going into it that it was definitely going to be a learning curve. I mean, that's just part of life. I think that being the leap of faith is that I totally believe in everything that we're doing, and also the key roles of the people that are a part of the La Crosse Wellness Center. They have the same vision, the same leap of faith, and understanding what ultimately we would like to do for our community. So I think going into it wasn't as scary, just for the fact that our partners were kind of on the same playing level that we were, and what our ultimate goal is. So, but leap of faith in any time opening up a business is, I mean, it's a risk. So that's, someone's got to do it, right?
Well, good things happen to good people, I always say, and you're one of them. But before we sort of go any further, the building is so well lit and it's so attractive, and for those that maybe have never even seen it or been there, it's accessible. It's right behind Famous Dave's, well lit. And was that the kind of location you were looking for?
I wanted to have something a little bit more central that, I mean, obviously not central in La Crosse, but still connected to Onalaska, Holmen, and La Crosse. And that area, I mean, gave us the opportunity to be accessible. It's really easy to get down there, but that's been one barrier for us because there hasn't been any businesses down there. So unless you've lived down there, no one's ever had the option or had the reason to go down there. So that's the one thing that's important to us. And then obviously just the space and the land of what, you know, the field house alone is 12,000 square feet. And that's probably the biggest surprise for people who've never been there. They don't realize that we have a 12,000 square foot indoor turf facility. So it's kind of hidden.
I hear a lot of people talk about that, and that's one of the attractions. But speaking of that, when you hired Chad Strehlow, throughout the hats he wore, and now he is the field house coordinator. Field house. Now, I bet a lot of our viewers don't even know about the field house. So let's kind of walk through what programs are there and opportunities are in the field house and the dimensions and so on.
Okay, yep, so as Kara mentioned, it is 12,000 square feet. We do a little bit of everything back there. We have adult leagues, flag football, soccer. We do a lot of youth leagues with soccer as well. We're looking to get into flag football as well with the youth. We do birthday parties. We do batting cages. We just recently added bubble soccer to our field house.
Bubble soccer. We need to hear about this.
You need to try it. Everybody needs to do bubble soccer.
Absolutely.
So what is it?
It's it's a huge bubble that wraps around you, and you get inside of it, and the only thing that's sticking out is your legs. And then it's just a soccer game, and you can run into each other, fall over, and there is no harm to you when this happens.
But wait a minute now, is that for seniors like me too?
For sure.
Absolutely.
For sure. You'll love it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm always looking for adventure sports, and like now I'm kind of attracted to pickleball, you know, and things I can do at my age. And but I'm not giving into the biological clock, that's for sure. I'm still competing in as many events as I can. So I noticed during the winter when I was working out there, in the cardio section, I looked down and there were baseball teams practicing. I noticed West Salem was down there prior to the start of their season. La Crescent, plus individual skill work too.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So we do rent it out to teams around the area. I know even in the fall time there was a team that made it down to state in football, so they needed to get it inside and do a little practice. So we do rent it out to teams or like individuals who are looking to do kind of individual training sessions with baseball or anything like that.
And I also noticed the semi-pro football team was down there during prior to the start of their spring season. So if people that are watching want to know more about the field house in particular, that component, what are the costs and what do they do to rent that out?
They can give us a call. All of our front desk staff knows the pricing with the batting cages, if they want to rent the turf for an hour, half-hour increments, birthday parties. So yeah, you could give us a call, shoot us an email, and we can definitely discuss pricing.
One thing that our granddaughter and I did during the cold winter months that we didn't mention is tennis. So we came in and rented it a few times on a Sunday late afternoon and played some tennis, and I thought I was going to teach her a little bit, and she ended up teaching me more than I taught her. So you have that option too.
Yep, we just added the full tennis court. We did have two smaller versions, but now we added the full tennis court, so it's the actual size of a court. I know a lot of our players come in the mornings and rent it out to play doubles. So.
Yeah, I noticed that. So any thoughts to maybe add any other features to the field house? Basketball, for example?
That was our ultimate, that was our first initial phase. I wouldn't rule it out by any means. We have some options to add on, but right now we added the ice rink outside. This winter didn't go as well as planned, but we do have a little outdoor ice rink to add some of the outdoor skating or hockey, broom ball, all that kind of stuff that we'd like to add. And then eventually, once I win the lottery, probably look into doing a basketball court too.
Really?
So,
I thought I was going to win the lottery.
well, if you do, you can share with me. But yeah.
Well, I might have to share it with 5 children and 15 grandchildren and,
right.
and a wife.
Okay. Fair enough.
She would need part of it too. So good. Well, when we come back, we're going to talk more about. We just touched on part of your programming opportunities, but there are a lot more. So you stay with us, and we'll learn more about the La Crosse Wellness Center when we come back.
After 80 years in our beautiful area, it's easy to find a home that's kept comfortable by Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning. To say thank you, we're celebrating our 80th anniversary in style.
When you install a new Carrier residential air conditioner now until June 27th from our La Crosse or Winona locations, get 50% of your purchase back if there's a new record high temp on July 4th. Call now for complete details.
Turn to the experts, Carrier and Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning.
Welcome back to Seven Rivers Sports. I'm your host, Terry Erickson. Today, La Crosse Wellness Center with Chad Strehlow and with Kara Schuster. Well, we talked about just a fraction of the opportunities at the La Crosse Wellness Center, but there's much, much more. And it seems like every time I go out there, you're expanding. Well, let's just break down some services, which I continue to find is very impressive, from physical therapist, dietitian, you name them. What can members get in terms of options?
Well, we wanted to develop our memberships where everything was included, so give members the full opportunity to reach their goals. So unlike our memberships prior, like when we moved into the facility, we revamped them and we added in 4 training sessions. So any member that starts, whether you're a current member or that are starting, have access to our trainers, 4 personal training sessions. We have a registered dietitian on staff, so every single individual can meet with our registered dietitian and get a program designed and developed for them, whether you want to.
Additional cost?
No additional costs.
Whoa.
Neither with the personal trainers. And then also our physical therapists. So any movement screens, if you had any injuries, or once you meet with a trainer, if they notice that your movement pattern's not correct, then they'll bring you into the physical therapist, and there is no cost to any of that. So the whole goal is, being in this industry for almost 20 years, we just see people come in and they don't have a plan, or they do the same thing and over and over, and then they just stop working out, or they don't get the results that they're looking for. So we tried to take a step back and say, we have all these experts on staff. How can we package this in and give people the opportunity, whether they just want to have a program design, if obviously they want to do more above and beyond, then there would be additional fee, but just to get them started. And every year this service continues. So you get your 4 training sessions, and next year you're going to get 4 more training sessions at no cost. Another session with the registered dietitian, another session with the physical therapist. We have a chiropractor on staff too, so if you had any injuries and you want to just do a screen with them, that's part of the membership. So we're trying to keep the price a barrier, but more importantly, help them reach the goals of why they join a health club in the first place.
Well, there's an abundance of health clubs in the area, as everyone knows. But you answered my next question, which was, what's the distinction between the La Crosse Wellness Center and others, and you just answered it right there.
Yeah, I don't know how we can get that word out, but we don't want to just be another health club. We really want to be able to be more of your wellness team, where we can help you get to where you want to go, versus just come in and, not that I don't want to take your money, but you know what I mean, like, let's give you something that you can work with. And more importantly, there's a lot of people that have never belonged to a gym, and we want them to feel comfortable and confident and have a plan when joining a facility.
You said a team. I like that, because throughout my coaching and directing days, we had a team was an acronym. Team, T-E-A-M. Together, everyone accomplishes more. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what you are doing. Chad, you're. Let's say that I'm not unsure of myself. I come out and I haven't worked out for a long time, and I have some issues in terms of weight or whatever they are, just sedentary lifestyle. What would you say to me if I came out and said, I don't like myself. I want to improve my overall health and wellness?
Okay, well, first of all, we would kind of give you a tour of the facility, kind of show you everything we have, show everybody the options that they do have. And then first of all, I would probably have them sit down with one of our personal trainers or physical therapists to kind of have them give them some advice how to move forward, get them started on a program, go through their equipment orientation, show them how to use the equipment properly. I think that's one of the main things that people really don't know how to use the equipment properly. So that's kind of how I would start out, is get them sitting down with our personal trainer. So.
And a level of comfort, and and everyone has their own tailor-made fitness plan based on, you know, where they are on the wellness chart and so on, right?
Yeah.
You know, one thing that caught my eye, Kara, too, was maybe because we have 15 grandchildren, but the Cooley Kids Summer Camp. Whoa, you launch that and you have weekly themes, which caught my eye, and it's like, this is pretty impressive, pretty innovative.
Yeah, we're really excited about it. This is our second summer. Last year was the first year, obviously, being open, that we launched it. And the whole reason and goal behind this is, as you know, I have twins that have autism. I have 4 children, 2 that are on the spectrum and 2 that are not on the spectrum. And as a mom, there's not a lot of opportunities that all 4 of my children can do something together without, you know, we wanted something that could be inclusive for them to participate in. And the goal of the program is that it's for all abilities, and everybody's successful and learns to work with one another no matter where you're at. And each week they learn a different virtue. So this week is our sports extravaganza week. They do various sports. They're going to the Loggers game tomorrow. They're going to hockey rink. We had Loggers players and chill and freeze players come in. They try every sports that you can think of. But also have the fun component of learning to work with one another and meet them wherever their abilities are.
What an incredible hidden gem here, a jewel. Weekly camp themes as I look at them, and you can, of course, you can go on the website and look too, but I mean, you certainly are attracting a lot of young people. And you talked a little bit about your 4 children and the 2 that are on the spectrum, Wade and Carson, and they were on the show along with your other sons a couple of years ago, I guess. Mm-hmm. But that sort of transitions to their Firecracker 4 mile, which I've run every year since it was the Cholita race. Mm-hmm. And there's 2 beneficiaries, the La Crosse Area Autism Foundation and the Children's Museum. And I know you were directly involved in it when it transitioned from the Cholita to the Puzzle Run, mm-hmm. Puzzle Classic. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, we found out that Cholita was no longer able to take on that the task, because obviously there's a ton of volunteers and work that it takes to put that together, and we just really wanted to keep it in our community and what it meant, and just keep the autism, in the front of everybody's minds, especially in our community, with the rate that autism is going to, right now it's 1 in 64. By the year 2024, it'll be 1 in 9. So it's not going away, and I think the more we can, keep these different events in our community is important. So that's why La Crosse Autism Foundation was really lucky and excited to be able to help take that over.
Exactly. You have a lot of just wonderful people involved. And just to plug that race again, the Firecracker 4 mile on July 1st, Riverside Park. I think it starts around 7:30, 8 o'clock, mm-hmm. something like that. I better find out what time it starts so I get there.
I think it's 8 o'clock. But
I've been right down to the wire a few times getting to the race. When I didn't plan well enough. But real quickly, too, autism, as you said, we talked a lot about that last time you were on. For those that maybe are unaware, what are the red flags of autism?
There's a lot. I mean, every child is so different, but I think that, the development stage, like for our boys, I can personally speak, like they had normal development, and then I think right around 18 months to 2 years of age, they started to regress and lost their language. So I would think that would, that's one red flag with losing of the speech after normal development. Eye contact, not being able to be comforted or touched, sleeping, sicknesses. So it's just such a, like they say, spectrum. It's such a wide gamut of different things. But I think that's the first thing. If you notice that if they're developing normal and then all of a sudden there's a major setback, I would definitely try to continue to research and encourage to push forward for more testing.
You know, I read an article real quickly as we close the show that some current legislation is on the horizon to provide additional funds for autism, and so I'm anxious to see how that unveils in the next few years. So, you know, I go to a lot of coffee shops, and one of my favorites is Cabin Coffee, and what an interesting addition to that whole area. How's that going?
It's going well. I mean, we love it. Anyway, we're highly caffeinated every day. Kathy and Ed Bauer they're wonderful people, and they have, I mean, great coffee. They have organic coffee that's there. They have gluten and dairy-free options, which is important. They're so willing to help out as well in regarding to like our adaptive sports league that we just started actually this week. They were willing to do like a percentage of their proceeds back to that organization. So it's just a really good fit. I think again goes back to being well-rounded, and everybody in the Wellness Center knows our vision is not only wellness but also the piece of special needs is a big part of our vision as well as helping individuals.
And I applaud you for that. We've had Garth Tymerson on the show and Martha talking about special needs, and we have a sister that has special needs, so I'm very familiar with that, so I applaud you for that, and I'm glad you said Cabin Coffee has gluten-free, dairy-free, because that's kind of why I'm attracted to it.
Yeah.
So, but and you're right about Ed and Kathy. They're personal friends of mine, and we want them to be successful too. So as we end the show, give us just a snapshot into any future plans.
Man, we're always planning.
We're
always. I think next year, like one of our goals are to constantly be able to partner with area experts to develop more programs. But right now, we're really in the process of trying to develop more programs with special needs, like after-school programs, and then just to develop more of the adult population. Or the senior population that may have had, heart attacks, any of that, higher risk. So those are the two goals that we're trying to really to develop right now, but also trying to take a step back to see what our community needs and go from there.
So you're stretching your vision, and you're trying to attract different demographic groups, and I applaud you for that. So if you wonder, if the question is what's the distinction between the La Crosse Wellness Center and others, now you know the answer.
Yeah,
because it's quite a distinction. So wow, this has been great. I appreciate you taking the time to be on the show, and again, our guests are Chad Strehlow and Kara Schuster. So if they need information, and I'm sure they will, how do they get a hold of you or give us the information?
Well, they definitely can just stop in during our staffed hours, and one of us are typically there. Otherwise, they can give us a call. 781-SNAP is the number. Real tricky.
Or your website.
Or our website, laxwc.com, and feel free to shoot us an email, and we'd be happy to answer any questions anyone has or show them around. Or,
yeah. Maybe I'll even show them around because I'm out there.
Yeah, Terry, you could. You could be our tour guide. So.
Yeah. So, by the way, 24/7. Sometimes late at night, I come home from someplace and I can't sleep, so 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning.
We're there. We never close.
I'm there.
All right, perfect.
Well, I'm the only one there, but I'm there. All right, well, this has been a great show. Thanks for being on.
Thanks for having us.
And continue good luck with the La Crosse Wellness Center. Thanks. All right, we'll be back with some closing thoughts right after this.
After 80 years in our beautiful area, it's easy to find a home that's kept comfortable by Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning. To say thank you, we're celebrating our 80th anniversary in style.
When you install a new Carrier residential air conditioner now until June 27th from our La Crosse or Winona locations, get 50% of your purchase back if there's a new record high temp on July 4th. Call now for complete details.
Turn to the experts, Carrier and Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning.
Welcome back to Seven Rivers Sports. Well, several area basketball all-stars competed in the WBCA All-Star Game in Wisconsin Dells this past weekend. On the boys' side, Kobe King and Bailey Kale from La Crosse Central, Jalen Zubich and Tyler Hughes from Onalaska, Nathan Urell from CFC, and Ben Kennedy from Onalaska Luther. On the girls' side, Taylor Stutley from Onalaska and Olivia Maroon from Lafarge. Congratulations to those area all-stars. Plenty of activities to take advantage of in the Coulee region during the summer months. Biking, hiking, road races, water sports, and music in the park. Take advantage of the great weather and get involved in some of these outdoor activities. We continue to broaden our lists of guests and are continuing to look for ways to improve the show. If you have a suggestion for an upcoming guest or a topic, please contact us here at the studio. Check your listing as we continue to bring you Nights of Thunder Racing every Thursday and Sunday nights at 7 p.m. Thanks for joining us this week. I'm your host, Terry Erickson, hoping that you will have an active and a healthy week ahead.